Hello everyone, I am Gabriele and welcome to my channel. Today is Stegosaurus at 100%, the same Stegosaurus that I have been dragging since previous patch. Yes, I admit it, for those of you who are wondering. I'm growing another Stegosaurus and I think I'm gonna be successful, but it's on another server. Now, nobody can actually stand a Stegosaurus by a riverbank. I mean, nobody, like no Dinosuchus. Just because if you are not swimming, actually, as Stegosaurus, you can take down any Dinosuchus by riverbank. Or even a little bit like this. I mean, I am fishing. I am spear fishing. Check it. I can swing my tail this much. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I am spear fishing. I'm spear fishing. And then they say that Stegosaurus is not a fisher. I mean, Spinosaurus is a fishivore-ish animal. For example, it's not yet in game. Stegosaurus is herbivore, but it does have Spinosaurus-ish tendencies, such as like fishing. Not that it needs fish, but yeah. It's one of those tendencies that players have when they play Stegosaurus, just to teach who's boss around land. I mean, you have to consider land, even riverbanks, or even shallow water. So, check it, I was talking about little Utahraptors, so I'm gonna press E, dismount it, and then press this. Yeah, alright. I think that Utahraptor is having some other problem. Is it biting me still? I'm not entirely sure though, I'm not entirely sure. Is it biting me? I'm not entirely sure, it's alright. It's a little Utahraptor, it doesn't deal much bleeding. It doesn't deal deal no damage at all, kinda. I mean, check it. That Utahraptor must have beaten me a couple of times, has pounced me, and my bleeding is still 99.84. Don't underestimate a little Utahraptor if you are a juvenile yourself as a Carnotaurus, for example. If the other Utahraptor is like half your size and you are still a juvenile as a Carnotaurus, that Utahraptor can actually kill you if you underestimate it. Don't run, stand still, and just attack back on a defensive stance. Do not run after the Utahraptor, so to say, unless you are not in a good spot, then you have to move. Well, today is Stegosaurus anyway, so check it. Stegosaurus is massive already. I wonder how the elder system will look like. Check it, there is a little dino that is following me, probably someone that does not want to rely on fish, or probably yes, it's just a pure coincidence. Hello little Dinosuchus, today I am not on a warpath, so it's alright. I mean, I don't feel like. There is plenty of food over there at Bumpy Confluence. That Dinosuchus spawned here, I guess. Center spawned. And then is going a bit north. On the left hand side, you have Bumpy Confluence. A lot of fish is there. A lot of fish. Just go there and feed yourself, feed your little Dinosuchus with all of that fish over there. Just be careful of other dinos, because dinos are cannibals. I mean, because of too many players, because of how popular Dinosuchus is, it actually need to be cannibal dinos. I mean, you don't even need to attack others if you are at 100%. You just have to wait for suspicious behaviors and attack first if they come too close to you. I don't know, it depends on your type of gameplay. You play as you wish after all. And that's what makes this game a true survival game. I mean, you might say, okay, Gabriel, you are not very much with rules, right? Yeah, I am not. Because after you make a rule, then you enter into a loop. What if I can break that rule like this? Then you broke the rule actually by not breaking the rule. Because you played smart. There is nothing you can say, there is nothing. And plus, if you add a rule, then there is some other rule to be enforced, and so on and on. Well, it's about Stegosaurus anyway. With 6000 HP, it still can defeat super easily a Dinosuchus with 8000 HP and 500 bite force. My bite force is 50, which is pretty strong against hatchling Utahraptors, hatchling Carnotauruses, etc, etc. It's 50 points of damage is kind of alright as a bite force for Stego. Not to mention the one and only tail whip, inflicting 1250 points of damage. Now, if you take into account that such multiplier, if you add a multiplier by 2 on the head that you hit, if you do a headshot with your tail whip, this 1250 points of damage will easily turn out to be 2500 or 2000 points of damage, depending on the multiplier. I think if you hit the head, if it is a headshot, you have a multiplier of by 2. Yes, I know, I am drinking in the prairie. There is more than one spot like this. It's super safe to drink if... Check it. Oh, this one is kind of cheeky, eh? Kind of cheeky. You scared me for a while, but then why not? Oh, well done. At least I inflicted you some damage. I mean, I don't care. I don't know why Deinosuchus like to come here. Should I wait? I'm gonna wait here. That Deinosuchus will actually lunge at me. And then we're gonna see how this goes. Okay. I wanna notice if I see the reflection or different textures on the water. No, I don't see. So, one Dino stayed and the other one left. Yeah, probably the other one left as well. It's alright. I'm gonna move then. I am going to move. So, that was a good jump scare. Not that I needed to be scared because, come on, Stegosaurus against Deinosuchus. Some of you might say, oh, Deinosuchus needs actually a boost. I'm not entirely sure, you know? Because Stegosaurus in water, if it keeps swimming, the longer it stays in water around the Deinosuchus, swimming, not ankle deep, you die pretty fast. The same thing goes for Deinosuchus on land or by river banks, wherever there is shallow water, let's say. It is like that. Check it. I am ankle deep. I can go a lot more ankle deep here. Check it. Come on. My tail whip is in water. I don't know if in future developers will consider like creating some friction when your tail whip is moving, is swinging in water. I'm not entirely sure if that is good or bad balance-wise, but I mean, you just, depending on what you get, it's either stronger or weaker Dinos or Stegosaurus. For now, we all have to play with Deinosuchus, assuming that if you are in a shallow spot against a Stegosaurus, you just die, because Stegosaurus tail whip range is a lot bigger than the Deinosuchus biting range. It means that if your tail whip hits multiple body parts, you add a multiplier to that. Deinosuchus bite is huge. I mean, you have a big mouth as a Deinosuchus, and you can, if you are lucky enough to bite, you can get to bite both head and body of a Stegosaurus. Let's say, if you do a proper attack with your Deinosuchus. But you can compare the range of a tail whip, for example. Check this range. It does have a huge range of that allows this tail whip to hit multiple body parts. So the more body parts you hit, let's say, the stronger your damage output will be on that prey, or on that target, better said, because I am supposed not to have any prey as a Stegosaurus, you know. It's okay. If this Carnotaurus is coming here, I can't believe it. It's going for me. You can one-shot a Carnotaurus, by the way. As a Stegosaurus, you can one-shot a Carnotaurus. Just because a Carnotaurus life is about 1800 HP, I mean 1800 HP, it means that if you hit the head or multiple body parts of that Carnotaurus, this tail whip of 1250 points of damage can very easily reach 1800 points of damage by hitting a Carnotaurus in multiple body parts or even just one headshot. So you reach that 1800 points of damage easily. That's why Stegosaurus dominate the land at the moment. Dominated land, and I'm including shallows, and I am including river banks with that. Now, if you are fighting against 6 dinos and you keep staying in that spot, you are gonna be taken down. Of course, I mean, as it should, come on. After all, both playables, Deinosuchus and Stegosaurus, it takes 5 hours to grow. 5 long hours, virtually speaking, with a perfect diet. Disclaimer. So, in truth is, Deinosuchus can be grown in 5 hours, AFK growing. So it can actually be 5 hours, let's say 5 hours and a half, 6 hours growing a Deinosuchus. It will take you 6 hours AFK growing, because you can do AFK away from keyboard growing with Deinosuchus, and in safe spots, always staying in one spot with plenty of fish, kinda hiding from other dinos or running away from other dinos, and that's it. And from terrestrials you do not have to worry about. Just don't stand nearby riverbanks, do not stand on the surface, or at least if you do, because you want to go AFK, just hide in a bush, in spots that are not frequented by many players, and that's it. Stegosaurus doesn't have a growth time that is that close to a Deinosuchus growth time. Deinosuchus growth time, practical growth time, is closer to its virtual growth time, which is 5 hours. It can be close enough to, at least, because of the diet system carnivores have now, but Stegosaurus do not have this luxury. It doesn't grow, its growth time for a Stegosaurus, it doesn't take 5 hours, or not even close, not even 6, it takes a lot more. Or you risk a lot more by going back here, northwest, to get those pumpkins, or after a certain growth stage, let's say 55% grown, 55-60% grown, you will have to do with 2 nutrients. 2 nutrients will increase your growth time, virtual growth time, with just 2 nutrients from 0 to 100% to 10 hours. So let's say an average growth time, a pragmatic growth time for a Stegosaurus that does not want to risk much, and still it risks a lot more than any Deinosuchus growing, it's closer to 8 hours, roughly. And playing it safe, even though you cannot compare how safe he is a Deinosuchus growth to how non-safe he is a Stegosaurus growth. Well, I don't know, it's just from my gameplay here. And to be honest, it's kind of fair that Stegosaurus has such a difficult growth time. You do not want to see so many bosses around, because Stegos at the moment, I consider them bosses in the island, terrestrial bosses, because the roster is mainly terrestrials. We have only 1 aquatic, 1 flyer, and the other 7 are terrestrials, and Stegos is an absolute force of nature. Above all, because the more HP you have, the more chances you stand to survive in fights when frames per second drop. And unfortunately, frames per second drop very often. So frames per second drop very often, and whoever has more life and more damage output wins. Not related to your maneuverability, which sucks for all those playables that rely on maneuverability, such as probably Paki, can I include Paki, or Raptors. I'm talking about skirmishes. I'm not talking, skirmishes, fights that in the end everyone wants to get in a fight. Nobody wants to grow or to move with just moving around the island, exploring. I mean, you can do it, but after a while, after you have known all of the spots possible, you don't want to get in a fight, you want to challenge yourself in a fight. Probably you will last 0 seconds and you will die immediately, it happens, or you can last multiple fights, it depends on different situations, you know. Well, that's all for today. I wanted to talk about Stegosaurus and my impressions on this new state of the game, this patch mainly. That's all for today. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please let me know everything you think about this in the comments section below, and have a great day. Bye bye.